All right, here we go. Yo, what's up? Pastor G here. Come over here, get my camera working. Get that on the track. There she goes, tracking. So you ever think about having like a pre-stream song, like something you walk out, you know, like the wrestling matches and all that good stuff. And you know, you had a hype song going on. Well, I think I might have just found mine for the stream. I can't play it because of copyright issues, as y'all know. But Fruits of My Labor by Caleb Gordon is one of my favorite songs anyway, but I forget about it all the time until it plays. I use YouTube and it plays me whatever it wants me to hear out of my playlist. And anyway, so I'm gonna read it for you real quick as we begin the stream tonight. It says, they said, if I don't make dollars, it don't make sense. They said my time's wasted if I ain't chasing a bag. But Pops told me never chase none. Only here to lead lost souls to the kingdom, that's facts. I only focus on the kingdom, and everything else that I need I know will attract. If I lose it all now, know he'll bring it right back. I ain't worried about the cars or the clothes or the plaques. Even if I ball and count big stacks, I will never put that before you. No, I won't get attached. Cause that will never last though. You wrapped your arms around me like a lasso. You went and painted the picture Picasso. Oops, Picasso, you made my heart grow. A lesson I learned from the seed is to start slow. Trust me, you're gonna see the tree if you look close. Don't you know having faith is the substance of things that you don't see? But trust me, you're gonna see the fruits of your labor. Trusting the King and my focus on laser. Walking in purpose, I'm blessed and I'm favored. I tried to go fall in love with the paper till you showed me love that will never waver. No one can give me the food that you cater. Tried to move fast and regretted it later. Long as I'm focused on you and your truth, I know I'll get the fruits of my labor. They said if you ain't stacking guap, then you basic. They said time's wasted if you ain't chasing the cash. Pop said the first gonna be last. You got everything you need right up in the kingdom, that's facts. I could teach you how to serve like that. Even the king will show love from the front to the back. It don't matter what you might lack. From the homeless on the streets to the ones who got M's in the bag. Never too great to give back. Know it's quick to forget when you love everything that you have. No, that will never last though. You wrapped your arms around me like a lasso. You went and painted the picture Picasso. Oops, Picasso, you made my heart grow. A lesson I learned from the seed is to start slow. Trust me, you're gonna see the tree if you look close. Don't you know having faith is the substance of things that you don't see, but trust me, you're gonna see the fruits of your labor. Trusting the King and my focus on laser. Walking in purpose, I'm blessed and I'm favored. I tried to go fall in love with the paper till you showed me love that will never waver. No one can give me the food that you cater. Tried to move fast and regretted it later. Long as I'm focused on you and your truth, I know I'll see the fruits of my labor. Trusting the King and my focus on laser. Walking in purpose, I'm blessed and I'm favored. I tried to go fall in love with the paper till you showed me love that will never waver. No one can give me the food that you cater. Tried to move fast and regretted it later. Long as I'm focused on you and your truth, I know I'll see the fruits of my labor. Man, is that just not tight? I mean, it really, when we think about streaming, when we think about ministry, when we think about trying to plant seeds for the kingdom, you can't rush it, right? You keep laboring, you keep doing it, you keep going slow with it, and trust that one day you're gonna see the fruits of your labor. And so, man, that's just a song, let alone it just straight drops. If you like a good deep bass, woo-wee. Boy, this in here will make your trunk bump for real. I'm gonna turn it back on, so I listen to it again as I get ready to go here and get our warm up in. Let me say once again, as always, welcome. I am Pastor G. This is our faith and fitness stream. I'm on here to get my workout in. On here to share a little bit of the word, encourage, build up, spur on the good works, all that good stuff. We're gonna get our legs worked on tonight. We're gonna say legs go, right? Just like my buddy Sleepy, who ain't on here right yet, but he'll probably be on. He might be on. If not, that's cool. But he's always talking about let's go. We're gonna say legs go tonight. So with that, I'm gonna walk over here. Let me get this zoom effect going. So I ain't leaving you like way over there, right? Get you to zoom in on me. Ooh, there we go. Repping the work shirt tonight too. Got the stream up on here, so I make sure I'm looking all right. Make sure I ain't having no technical issues. I got everything ready for y'all tonight. How you like that? We going on at 6:30 like we're supposed to. The only thing I gotta do right now is get my Strong app up. Click that legs workout. Click start workout. Pull up the watch. Hit that on, and we ready to go, yo. Get up here and get my feet right. So welcome, y'all. Like I said, so glad to be on here with you. So glad to be doing this once again on a Friday night. We getting our Friday night fight on, right? I don't know. I got the whole ramen thing going with this Caleb Gordon going on in my ear, man. Got that drop going. Drop the shoulders, you know, lean, right? Gotta lean. There we go. Showing off the leaning skills on the elliptical here, right? Anyway, I hope y'all had a very blessed, very good day. It's been a good one for me, I have to say. Not a whole lot been going on. Had the work thing, of course. And yeah, so hopefully everything's going right. Let me just peep over here, just one thing real quick. Yep, just want to make sure my mic was feeding, because I'm like, I always get scared, man. I'm gonna forget something. And I've done that before. I was doing a podcast a while back, and the first night I was gonna do it, and I had a first day, and I had somebody set up as my guest, and we had a great conversation, y'all, for over 2 hours. Way longer than I thought it was gonna be. And I got done, and I looked, and I'm like, oh no. I don't think I hit the record button. And sure enough, man, I realized it, and I had to swallow that pride, humble myself, and send them an email or a text and said, man, I hate to say this, I gotta be real. I forgot to hit the record button, man. So I got like none of our conversation. But they were so gracious, man. We got on there, we did it again a few weeks later. And then I feel bad now because I didn't continue with the podcast either. So now I'll turn my music down a little bit so I ain't got to yell so much. But I still did put their episode out. The channel was Purpose Built Media on YouTube. And I did put theirs out. They run a solar company. And so I got to share their story there and how they were using that to help them fund their ministry, which was a marriage ministry. And it's pretty cool, man. It's a real good talk. Like I said, just that whole mistake of not hitting the record button. And so now I'm always paranoid Like tonight, I had to walk over there and look, like, is my mic on? Have I been talking all this time and nobody been hearing me? Might be a good thing, but you know. Anyway, so yeah, so I had to take a break. Let's look at that real quick. But anyway, it's Friday, man. It's been a good day, like I was saying. Got out of work just a little early, which is not unusual on Fridays. And went and picked up the old groceries and all that good stuff. But work, man, today kind of laid back. That's a good thing about a Friday as well. Like most of my crew at the plant, they all leave about 11 o'clock because they work 9-hour days. And I'm on salary anyway, so it don't matter. But I usually work the full day on Friday. And it's nice to just being a few of us there. Have some good conversation, all of that. We've been told, I got a coworker, man, we've been doing this coffee thing. And like I just got into doing pour over coffees. And we got a espresso machine at work too. So I took some of my beans in there that I've been trying out. And we did those in the espresso machine. And so it gave me the opportunity to kind of compare the two, as well as share some different flavors. And so now it's like I brought them back home. I'm like, they were better in the espresso than they are in the pour over. But I think I can make the pour over, the ratio change, and make it work better for me. But I did go ahead and get 2 new bags today, 2 new dark roast flavors. And so I've been doing the Counterculture brand, which is what Target carries. And the good stuff about that is it's organic. It's got a born on date. And so usually it's not in Target less than a month from that born on date. So it's like super fresh. But it ain't cheap. I got it on sale last week for like 11 bucks a bag. This time it's like 14 bucks a bag. But you pay for good stuff, right? And so I'm ready to dig into the dark stuff tomorrow, see what it's like. And they tell you on the bag what kind of flavors there are, like chocolate, nutty, it might have some kind of berry in it. And it's not that those flavors are added, it's just from where the beans are grown and how they're grown that they pick up those flavors. And so we're gonna see how that goes, right? Ooh, out of breath already, man. I tell you, every time I'm on the elliptical, even 5 minutes, it'll get me breathless. Got to work on that cardio a little bit more, I guess, right? So yeah, so we still doing the 6-week dumbbell challenge. And during this challenge, we also talking about biblical, what I call biblical manhood. And really, we're just talking about real things everybody could be talking about. But it's usually guys I got on here with me anyway. I want to be a better man. I want y'all to be a better man. And so it's kind of where we're at tonight. And tonight we're looking at discipline. And that's one of those things, discipline and self-control, that we don't always like, you know. And but if we working out, if we trying to get fit, all that good stuff, then we working on discipline, right? And we probably working on some self-control with whatever we eat and all that good stuff. And some of us are good, some of us are not so good at that stuff. But that's gonna be the topic tonight. And we're gonna dive into that. Like I said, usually between my workouts or between my sets, I'll break down a little something or read a little verse or something. And then we'll kind of talk about it. I got that on my screen over here in front of me. Got my projector right here so I can see my chat, all of that good stuff. This system works out very well, except for the fact I stand in front of it all the time. But it's all right. No, we're gonna start with squats tonight. So the workout is, got my cardio in. We're gonna do squats, deadlifts, lunges, which I had a great time doing last week. I've always hated lunges. Let's hope we still have just as good a time this week as we did last week. Standing calf raise, and then we'll do a little bit of core work with the crunch and plank. And I always say, about the only time I get my core work in really, as far as being focused work, is while we are doing leg nights. And so that's what the routine is, right? And so just in case you don't know, it's always Monday or Tuesday, depending on work. If I got city council to be in on Monday night, then I'm usually on here on Tuesday night. We do back. Wednesday night we do chest. Friday night we do legs. Don't mean to make it last, it just is. But it gives me 2 days off, at least 2 days off before I hit the weights again. So I usually do a 3-day split. We'll bust out some legs, some arms on Saturdays from time to time if I have that extra day in there. But I always do something with no weights first. So I'm gonna do my squats to begin with. And just kind of get those bones get those bones lubricated, get the muscles, get a little bit of blood pumping, that kind of stuff. And also it helps me to make sure I get my form right whenever I'm going up and going down. And so I usually kind of hold my hands, you know, somewhere out there like that. Say 1, and I'll go ahead and do 12 of these. 2. I hear that knee popping every time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, I always do that. Just get it started, get them legs a little bit warmed up, get a little blood in them, get those joints working. And man, if you ain't been squatting, I'm old. I gotta get that stuff loosened up, right? And anyway, so tonight, kind of the key statement I'm gonna put out here is that a man dedicated to God doesn't just go with the flow. He trains himself in righteousness, stands against temptation, and willingly endures discomfort for the sake of growth and holiness. And can that not apply to so many things in our life, right? Maybe you're trying to do good at work, maybe you're trying to do good at school, maybe you're working on physical fitness, mental fitness, whatever. It takes effort, right? It takes intentionality, intentional effort. And that is something many of us are lacking, and that's something I lacked for a long time. And I still lack it in a lot of ways. But we're working on it. We're trying to get better. All right, got my little weights here. Again, still kind of lightweight. I ain't going real heavy. We got dumbbells tonight. We don't have to go real heavy. We're gonna get the reps in. That'll help with the muscle. Whew, already out of breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. So I mean, even in our movements, how we move for our squats and how we move for all of our exercises, we're trying to be intentional. We're trying to watch our form, make sure we don't get hurt. I'm old, like I said, and so if I get hurt, I'm gonna be hurt a little bit longer than I'm used to. And so definitely want to try to do them right best I can. But even in our faith life, even though we know that Jesus did the work to make us saved or to help us be saved by God, we still need to put intention in building our faith life. And Paul kind of describes this very well in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26 through 27. You've probably heard it. It says, "So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body, and I keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified." And so he's intentional, right? He disciplines himself and he exercises self-control. And I gotta exercise self-control where I don't get to where I talk so much I forget to do the workout. Because I can do that. A little bit heavier here. Again, legs already feeling a little bit, so it's all good. All right. 1, try to keep that back straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. I'll go down a little bit more than 90 degrees with my hamstrings to the ground or quads to the ground. If I was doing barbell and using heavy weight, I probably would not be going quite as far down. But this isn't so heavy, so I'm not gonna get stuck. It's always a big fear, right? Get that weight down there on you, you get down on the ground, it's like, I don't think I can get up. So I mean, even in our weightlifting, our exercise, we exercise self-control and discipline. Hitting some legs. What's up, Shaq? Yes, sir. Doing the legs tonight, man. It's Friday night. Friday night is leg night all the time. You know, so yeah, we busting them out. How you doing today, brother? How's your week been? All that good stuff. So, yeah, we talking discipline and self-control tonight along with our leg workout. And I was saying earlier, Sleepy's not on here that I know of, but I was saying earlier, like Sleepy always says, let's go, legs go, right? Yeah, I can be corny sometimes too. But it's all good. But yeah, you know, Paul says, I do not run aimlessly. And how many of us in life are running aimlessly? Aimlessly means you ain't got no target, you just letting things happen. And we said that earlier, don't just go with the flow, right? Glad the week is over. I hear you there, brother. No doubt, man, which I'm always looking forward to the weekend anyway. I stay pretty busy throughout the week. Saturday, I do end up having to clean house and do some of the work around the house. And that's gonna be one of those things where as the warmer weather gets here, it's a little bit harder for me to get my workouts in and get my work around the house done, because of course I want to be outside doing stuff, taking advantage of the good weather, all that good stuff. But week treated me good, man. I have to say it was a good week. Stayed pretty busy with everything, but it's all been good stuff. So we had our fiscal year budget meeting last night, and we got a lot of things on the table as far as projects and money going out and all that good stuff. And so we had to scale, we did not really scale back our budgets, we just couldn't add a lot to it. And so it was a fairly easy meeting. It was scheduled to 5:30, we got done at 4:30, so that worked out good. Because I always have church on Thursday nights too with our Bible study. And I was like, man, I can't be late for that. And so we got it done, man. How would you say your week was all around? All right, now we get a little heavier here. Once again, keep your right form, keep your back straight, and watch your knees, how far you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. I say, man, that may not seem like it's a lot of weight, but you feel it. I definitely feel it. Now we got some old school NF playing, man. Mansion. That was back when I was first really kind of getting to know NF. I fell in love with that CD, and then they had Therapy Session come on after that. That's something I like about all my music, man, is the things it speaks to are usually real world issues, mental health issues, all that good stuff, as well as a lot of it praises God and all that good stuff. So yeah, not about the weight, it's about the time under tension. Right, and that's one thing I got to be a little bit better at, is the slow, which I do controlled, like on the concentric movements. I do controlled, but I might not do it as slow as I should do it, you know. and getting that kind of rhythm and just going down, bounce back up, going down, bounce back up, you know. And again, got to be self-controlled, got to be disciplined. That goes right along with what I was saying. Like I say, every time with legs, man, that makes me a little bit breathless anyway. What do I do with my water? Did I leave my water over there? I might just have to go without it then. I bet I did. Yeah, let me go grab my water. Y'all hang on. Ah! Hope my camera don't decide to be like, where'd he go? I ain't gonna find him. I'm gonna stop looking. The AI camera, man, it'll go. Yeah, she got me. All right. It'll go all crazy. It'll look straight down. It'll look straight up when it can't see you. And so I'm always afraid to go out of the sight. But it's leg night. I'm like, I can't be going without water. Whew. So again, Paul says, I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air. If you've ever done any boxing, hitting bags or anything like that, you know, you ain't going around to walk, you know, as a kid, we might walk around like, yeah, man, I'm gonna beat somebody up, you know, all that good stuff. But again, he's talking about intention. Know what your goal is, know what your focus is. And he's like, I don't run aimlessly, I have a target. I don't just beat the air, I have something I'm beating, right? He says, but I discipline my body and I keep it under control. And that's the thing, man, that's tough. Because when we talk about body, we also talk about mind, right? For many of us. And we might be good at keeping the body under control. We ain't doing stuff we shouldn't be doing with it, but the mind might be roaming over here, wanting to go off another direction. And we got to be conscientious about that and be intentional. Like if your eyes start to look at something over there you ain't supposed to be looking at, and making your mind think about something you ain't supposed to be thinking at, then you got to be intentional and say, no, I'm not going to look, I'm going to turn away. And honestly, dude, I tell you, if you do that enough, it gets better, it gets easier. But like anything, once you slip up, it's hard to focus again. I like to, one thing that I've always learned in my own life is like with food, I can be very disciplined with food, but as soon as I give in to the one thing, that one craving, then it makes it so easy to give in to the rest of it. And like me and my wife used to always get a cheeseburger from a place down the road. And we'd get one like every Friday or Saturday night. And we ain't done that in years now. But I know that if I go down there today and got one, guess what I'd be wanting to do tomorrow or next week? I'd be wanting to go down and get me another one. Because you gave in to that discipline, you gave in to that undiscipline or that unself-control, or lack of self-control. And it just makes it harder the next time. And so we want to be men and people of God that are disciplined and self-controlled. So now we're going to get ready for the deadlift. So I put my feet out. Again, I'm going to do it without weights to begin with, just to get that initial stretch going, get the body into that movement pattern, I would say. Oh yes, I need that because I got to stretch them hamstrings anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I know that's like, they ain't doing a whole lot, but it's getting my legs ready, getting my body ready, getting my mind ready to move that weight. And man, I don't know why, tonight, I guess if I listen to Caleb Gordon twice, they feed me all the crap stuff tonight. It sucks to not feel valued at work. Oh man, no doubt. Tell me about it, man. What's been going on? I was like, I had a staff meeting today, And that's something I did try to leave them with, and that is the appreciation for the work that they do, because I know that we all work jobs and things. We don't always hear somebody tell us our value or show us our value. And I actually tried to let them know that, because I don't get to talk to everybody all the time. Like our staff meetings, we're supposed to try to do it like every month. I'm trying to do it at least every 2 months. And so yeah, man, I feel you. And yeah, I was say, I don't know. You feel free to share what you want. I was say, I don't know what your situation is there, but sometimes we just kind of feel looked over, like we don't matter, and that is tough. Feel like just a number, and no matter what I do, none of my work gets recognized. And I hear you, I feel you on that. It is definitely difficult. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Let me bust out this set real quick, and then we'll continue that thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. So let me ask you this. Tends to be very clicky, and only management is set up to get promoted as well. So what would it take? I mean, what do you need to make you feel valued? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just feel like I'm being used as a resource instead of being used for my skills and ability. And how long you been there? Let me ask that too. I mean, because there are those, and I'm not saying this is you, I'm saying there are those that will complain in a similar vein. A little over 3 years, I hear you, a good deal. I know some, I've been here so long, I should get that promotion just because I've been here. And I had to tell them, I'm like, nah, man, it don't work that way. It's like I think I was sharing last week, or earlier this week with you, the 2 young guys, that they really hadn't had the chance to show themselves either, but also they were kind of the mindset, well, I should get that position because I've been here this long. Or because, they did these small things or whatever. And, but they really hadn't had the opportunity either. And that's kind of what I was trying to tell them too. I'm like, when it comes to training people, I'm like, y'all ain't even had to train nobody yet. And y'all wanting to lead, they were wanting a leadership position. And whenever I talked about, they worked together on the same shift. And when I talked about separating them, oh, no, don't do that, this and that. I'm like, but if I separate y'all, that allows you to have the opportunity to train, plus allows you to kind of stand apart from each other, because that's the other thing. It's like they work together really well. But because of that, it's hard to choose one over the other. And, but as I said the other night too, in the end, it worked out for them. Because in the end, one of them actually come to day shift doing a different job that he wouldn't have been doing prior. And the other one got the leadership position that he might not have got if the other guy was still in the running. And so it worked out for the 2 of them, All right, we just did 15s, right? Yeah. 25s. And so I don't know, man, I've done, like I said, I got 26 years in, man. I can't say I've always felt like I was valued, that's for sure. And especially, like we were talking the other week, whenever I got passed over for the management job the first time too, I really felt undervalued then. Until that dude come in, and then I saw why they hired him. All right. 1, always bend my knees just a little bit. 2. I'm try to keep the back straight. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so it kind of comes back to that whole question, that I asked earlier was, what would it take for you to know that you're valued? I mean, is it just something you need them to tell you? Or is it something they need to give you to do? Or is it some position they need to move you to? And what would make you feel better? Like I know in my case, I don't always have a position to move somebody to. And I have a hard time sometimes trying to think of things I can give them to help them out as well, to show me what they can do sometimes. Yeah, more responsibility, more pay. Well, I'm gonna ask you this. What if they gave you more responsibility but without the pay right now? Would you do it? Would that still show you value? Now I'll let you answer that before I go on. I got a story to tell you with that too. So again, I want to jump back real quick. If it would set me up to get a promotion down the road, then yes, definitely. There you go, that's a good answer. You see, I was given the promotion, quote unquote, originally when the city came in and took us over. I went from being a regular maintenance guy to being a foreman at that time. And at the time, I didn't really make much more than they did either. Although they were calling me and coming to me for all their issues. And then I got in trouble one time because I missed a set of samples that we were supposed to do. And it wasn't no big thing. It's a very minor thing that I missed. And didn't cost us any money, no fines, anything like that. But I didn't get a raise that year because I missed that one thing. But yet the people I worked with, 2 of them, my boss and another operator, they made a bad decision, cost us $14,000. And I can't say if they got a raise or not, I don't know. But I know I felt like I got more punishment than they got for my stupid little thing. And so when the next raises come around, I was only making 1 penny more than those I was in charge of, or more than those I was actually leading. And that makes you mad. That makes you feel undervalued. And the only thing I can say in that case was, I believed if I continued to do the work that eventually I would get the compensation that comes along with it. And just so happened, we did a salary study, which is where we look at our salaries compared to the other areas around us. And I ended up being the one in the city that got the largest raise because of the time I had been in there, because of the position I was doing. And so that compensation finally came, and that helped me out. And really, I've made out pretty well on all of our compensation studies since. And so I kind of say that to encourage you, again, I don't know your situation or anything, but to encourage you to trust sometimes that if you're putting in the work, then the fruit will come eventually. And I don't know if you were on here at the beginning or not. Whenever I first started up, I was reading lyrics from a song by Caleb Gordon. He's a rapper. And he talks about, the fruits of my labor. It's like, as long as I'm keeping my eyes on God and I'm doing things and I'm not trying to make things happen too quickly, I understand it's slow sometimes, but I will eventually see the fruits of my labor. What's up, Driven Bro? How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. You just in time to see me pick up the heavyweights, man. Working them deadlifts. I want to change a little angle here a little bit for the camera. The heavyweights, man. Heavyweight Friday. Welcome to the fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember your form. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feel the burn. 11, 12. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh goodness. It's funny because I got the little cheap lightweight bench, and I'm putting these weights on, and I have to make sure the heavy weights are on this end, because if I put them on this end, that bench is gonna go up that way. And I gotta be careful with that. Don't want that to happen, right? Woo. But yeah, man. So again, it's kind of the idea, if you're doing a good job, if you are bringing value and you're a good worker and all that good stuff, trust the process. That's all I can say. You know, again, I would also suggest making sure your leaders know that you're wanting more. And even sit down with them and have that conversation and see what they say and see where that leads you. Because kind of like what I told my folks today, like we had I think probably 5 or 6 different people go take certification exams yesterday, which is good, it's great. And I always tell those guys and girls, I'm like, go get every certification you can, but understand, you know, we're limited budget-wise. So, you know, put in for it. They have to ask us, you know, put in a form that says, I want to go take this training, whatever. And we try to work it out and help them. I'm like, but here's the thing. I'm not hunting you down and trying to talk you into going. I want you to come to me and say, I want to go. And so, I mean, that's what I do with my own boss. When I did my evaluation last year, I went into it with a plan. And I didn't actually, he hadn't really helped me out a whole lot with that plan. He's got his own ideas. And I might have been a little bit fired up to do something else that I'm not really wanting to do now anyway. But I went in there, I talked about shadowing other people, like other directors and stuff and other leaders. Talked about school classes I wanted to go to, wanting more responsibility, all of that good stuff. Because so often I go in there and say, I just want to be promoted. I just want to be ready for the next level. That ain't really saying much. It needs to be, I want to do this, I want to do that. Is there something I can take off of your plate? Is there something you can go ahead and involve me in? And so, yeah, might jump back into water utility industry, to be honest. The distribution side of the industry is just rugged though, pretty much no life. Yeah, distribution side is rough, I know that. I got mad props for those guys, man. Like I said, I don't do a lot of the distribution work, but I've been out there with them. I've done the overnighters, all-nighters on a water main break. And everybody working like 80-hour weeks. Yeah. So we don't do that. We are pretty good on our overtime. We got enough people to fill in, or if we don't have enough people, then we hire it out. But the guys and girls on our water side, on the distribution side, it seems like so often they wanted to go over to our streets and our sign shop and stuff like that, because those people don't get called out as much. And we do a rotating on-call thing as well. But things have gotten better, but they would always be like, they come to us and they realize, you know, just get their foot in the door, so to speak. But then they can go over there and be a little cleaner. They can go over there and not have to be called in overnight and stuff like that. So I get it, yeah. I tell you, man, water's been good for me. I can't complain at all. As much as I didn't see myself staying in it, I can't complain. All right, now we're about to bust out in things I don't really like a whole lot. and that's called lunges. Yeah, I was always on call when I went in. And you know, my deal, I've been on call since I started day one. And so I could get called in the middle of the night for 26 years. And so if there weren't any calls during the day, it was a normal 8-hour day. Right, yeah, that's typical. Now I got a crew under me and got enough people under me that it's rare that I'd be called in. Better be rare that I get called in, but I still can be. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Didn't go out far enough on that one. 8. 10. What 15, 16, 17, 18. Feel the burn already. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Man, that's rough. Leg gonna give out on me. But sometimes we get called in an hour before we were supposed to get out. Yeah, right, we done that, yeah, been there. But I mean, even on that, dude, it's funny, because with us, when I was a maintenance guy, and even as a supervisor, it's like, if an operator wasn't coming in overnight, I would do my maintenance stuff or my supervisor stuff the first 8 hours of the day. I go home for 4 hours and then come back in and work a 12-hour shift overnight because I wanted the overtime. But that gets old, don't get me wrong. That gets old, but I've done it. And now it's like, some of my guys are like, nah, man, I ain't doing that. I'm just not coming in, I'll come in tonight. I'm like, dude, y'all don't need money like I needed money. I love those 20-hour days. But again, unless it got to be too much, and it's a different world than being out there in the ditch. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not knocking what you're saying there. But, because I've seen that too. And like I said, I've been out all night on a few different breaks, and those guys work. About all I have to do in that case is, y'all good? Y'all need any drinks? Y'all need me to run to the warehouse and get anything? Y'all ready for dinner? I'll go get dinner. Y'all ready for some snacks? I'll go get us some snacks, you know. That's my hard work now on the side of the ditch. But you can only work so hard, right? You can only work so many hours. And so yeah. So keep on chatting about that. I'm gonna go back to my word real quick, because I want to get to that last part of Paul's words in 1 Corinthians 9, 26 and 27. Again, I'll go ahead and read the whole thing, but I'm going to focus on the last part. It says, so I do not run aimlessly, I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under self-control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. And so it's kind of the whole, I can't be on here telling you you should be working out, or telling you you should be eating right, or telling you should be in the Word, or telling you need to go to church, or anything like that, and me not be doing it myself. And telling you to try to work on discipline and self-control and not be looking at women or anything else, and me not be working on those same things myself. And so that's what Paul's saying here. He's like, I try to stay disciplined because I know I'm an example. And later on in 1 Corinthians 10, I believe it is, he actually says, he says that, imitate me as I imitate Christ. I talked about that before on here. I'm like, I can't do that because I don't think I follow Christ well enough to tell you to imitate me. I say, nah, man, look to him. Imitate him yourself. Don't look at me because I'm going to screw up. But that's what Paul said. He's like, imitate me while I imitate him. And so this comes before he actually says that in the same letter. So remember, Corinthians is a letter he is sending to the church. And so he's not standing before them saying this. So in that same letter, after saying this, lest preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. Later on is when he says, follow me as I follow Christ. Whew. Get out of breath, man. Get out of breath. All right, here we go. I should have done this without weights to begin with as well. I realize that now because that first set was a little bit harder than it should have been. And my legs are also still a little bit tired from last week. It's all good though. We're working it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haha, put the hamstring pop on that one. 6. All right, yeah, we'll stop on that one. I don't know what it was. It was just like a little pull, man. I don't know what that was. It's like how your muscle pops every now. That's what just happened. I don't know if it's kind of like, you know how they kind of get maybe the fibers get overlapped or whatever. It's not horrible, but I don't want to hurt none. And it's just like a little thing, like a bee just stung me right there. So I don't know. I'm not gonna try to do any more lunges after that one, just to be on the safe side. We'll go ahead and skip them and get into the calf raises. Because I've done that. I've had something like just a muscle kind of get a knot in it or something, and I tried to push through it. Ooh, and then I pay for that. So I'm gonna hold off on that. Like I say, just feel like a little sting right there, man. Crazy. As Paul uses athletic imagery to emphasize the intentional effort required both in physical and spiritual pursuits, and that's what we're on here about. A godly man doesn't wander. He sets goals, remains focused, and practices self-control so that he doesn't invalidate his own testimony. And that's the thing. If I'm claiming Christ, if I'm claiming to be this or that, I need to make sure that my life is lining up to that. And I take my faith very seriously, as you know. I'm not perfect by any means. I don't over-spiritualize things, but I do try to do what I can to make sure that I'm a good representative of Christ in what I do. I gotta get that water. Get that water, man. I do wanna move that up a little bit. I'm my mouse. Here, mousey, mousey. There we go. Come on, which way you go? Hold up, nope, don't do that. There we go. Sorry, got my music going, man. Gotta start dancing. Like I said, we're gonna hit some calf raises. That's right, I did them there last time, didn't I? Did them on the workout, on the cage. And since it's just calves, I'll go back middle weight on that. Now give me a set in, then we'll get back to talking. Going ahead and doing 20. They say go high reps on your calves because of how you use them anyway. I say flexing all the time as it is, so you kind of got to go on a higher rep to get the benefit. I always do try to keep my knee bent just a little bit too. Ooh, don't do that. But yeah, man, you know, I mean, look into, I don't know, again, I can't remember what state you're in. I know here in North Carolina, we offer now an apprentice certification. And what that means, like even for water treatment, which is what I'm in, you can go, you study, you go to school, you pay for your school unless you get a job beforehand to do so. So we go to a 4-day school basically, and then we have about a month to study, and then we go take the exam. Well, the exam for the apprentice is the same one as for a full certification. But the only difference is you gotta have 6 months experience to be fully certified. So if you get that apprentice certification, then you get 6 months experience, and after that 6 months experience, then you just pay another $50 to get that certification upgraded. And so it's pretty cool. I'm in drinking water, man. Yeah, drinking water. I don't do no wastewater. We don't have a wastewater plant here in my city at this time. All of ours goes to a regional plant, but we are looking at the possibility of building one in the future to take some of our wastewater. Because we've got a whole backlog right now, wastewater issues due to capacity issues with the plant where all that's going to. They're upgrading, all that good stuff. It's gonna take years. And because of that, we're kind of landlocked on development. We can't give out any more wastewater basically. And so I might get the opportunity. I do have a certification. I have my biological 1, which is what you need for working in a wastewater treatment plant. And then I have my collection side as well, because that's what we are, we're a collection system. And in case for those that don't know, sewer collection system is where your house dumps into the sewer, and then you got the main out there and everything. That's what the collection system is. It takes all that sewer water and it sends it to the wastewater plant. And so sewer flows by gravity, and so it's based on topographical maps, or it goes really, really deep, and then it goes to a lift station to help get over the next hill, and then it just kind of gravity flows back down. The district I was in, we had an ozone plant and a wastewater treatment and wastewater plant. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we don't do ozone, we do bleach. Everybody's got their own disinfectant. The problem with ozone is it's a great disinfectant up front, but it doesn't last out into the distribution system. So you have to feed bleach anyway, you have to feed chlorine anyway. And but it doesn't create byproducts, and that's another issue. Woo! All right, got that first set out of the way. Grab that 25 again. Do another 20 here. Oh man, I do wish I gotta find me some way better to do this. I used to do it on the steps going up. I got steps over there. I used to do them on the steps, but you can't do that on the camera. The cool thing with the lake where all the water comes from is so clean anyways that all it needs is ozone treatment because the forest surrounding the lake. Yeah, we got houses on our lake, man. We no legal use of the water. They can't put boats in it. They can't be fishing, anything like that. But we got houses and a golf course on our lake, and fixing to be having even more houses on the lake. And so, and it all depends on where you're at too, your elevation, how deep the lake is, all that good stuff plays a part in the quality of water. Our turbidity coming in is really, really low. So on that aspect, it's really good water. But you still got, total organic carbons and everything else that's in it that causes the reaction with chlorine. And which we just put a little bit on the front side of our plant. We having algae issues too the past year. And so we got to work on that this year. Oh man. Another verse to look at, again, talking about discipline and self-control. 1 Timothy 4:7-8 says, have nothing to do with irreverent, silly myths. Rather, train yourself for godliness. For while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and for the life to come. And so I love that because he includes the physical body aspect. But he says, train yourself for godliness. Just as we train ourselves for muscle growth, for health, for losing weight, all those different reasons you might be working out for, our faith is the same way. We have to train and work ourselves in. And we do that by reps, right? Just like we're working out, you do it by reps. It's reps, repetitions. How many times am I in the Bible? How many times am I praying? That kind of stuff, you know, getting those reps in, so to speak. Got any recommendations on how to get into the treatment side of the water industry? I feel like it's competitive. I don't know where it's competitive because there's always plants that are needing operators. There is an operator shortage. And so again, I don't know what state you're in, but look into it. You probably got a division of environmental quality or something of that nature. I'm sure you know what to look up for that. See what programs they got for their certifications. And if you've got experience in distribution system, that might beat somebody else out that has no experience whatsoever. And so whenever I'm hiring people, it's rare that we get a certified operator apply for an operator job. And so I got to look at the other things they've done. Have they done any kind of water treatment at all? Have they done any kind of chlorine residual testing or any kind of distribution system testing or distribution side work, public utilities work? So like last two guys I hired, one of them worked in a sewer collection system and the other one worked for a drinking water bottling company. And but there was nobody else that had the experience they had to even near qualified to be able to work in the water treatment. And so I got them in. And the good thing about that is if you fill out your exam application right and you include some of that information that you've done in the field, sometimes they'll take, like we've got a 6-month requirement for experience. Sometimes they will apply some of that experience to that 6 months. But sadly, my dude that worked in the wastewater side didn't put a thing in there about what he had been doing before he came to us. And so he didn't get no extra credit. And so where he could have went and took the exam and probably got certified yesterday, which it takes about a week to get the results anyway. He's now having to wait till May to be able to take the test. Which really kind of messed us up too, because I was also trying to get somebody moved into that position. But pay a visit. You know, again, find that water treatment plant around you and pay a visit to them. Call them up, say, hey man, I'm looking at the industry. I want to come see what y'all do and maybe talk to you a little bit, show some interest. Here we go. Last set of calves. And I'll tell you another suggestion with that is something I would have never thought about, but now that I go all the time, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to tell you. Go to city council, look up, see when their meetings are, attend a couple of them so that you can see who the director is and maybe who the managers are. And then at least then you can kind of have some familiarity with them. And another thing might be, like we do a Citizens Academy, which is like a 6 or 7 week program. They get to see all the different areas of the city and how we work and all that good stuff. And that might be another good thing, not only just for your civic education, let's call it that, but also again, so that you get that time out there seeing how the water system works and getting to know people as well. So just like anything, it's kind of finding ways to get involved, finding ways to let people know you're interested. And then, like I said, I'd look into that whole apprentice certification if y'all's state has one. Because I can tell you, if I have somebody that comes to me and has taken it upon themselves to go get that apprentice certification, and I got them who's got it or getting close to having it, they've already taken the test, and I got somebody that's already certified, I'm probably gonna go with them over the certified guy. And one of the reasons being because a lot of times you hire somebody that's already certified, you also hire all their problems. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. It's not a guarantee. And the guy that we recently hired, and he was one that we hired over the 2 young guys from outside because he had like 20 plus years of experience. But what we didn't know was all the other issues he was going to bring with him, which made it kind of impossible for some of my folks to work with him. And eventually he kind of felt like he understood he wasn't really a good fit, and it wasn't the job he wanted and all that good stuff. He was already retired anyway. But so he ended up leaving. But again, I always say, man, that was for me, and I haven't told those 2 guys this, but for me, I see that as how things worked out the way they're supposed to. Because I couldn't hire them the way it was for the position I was looking at. I hired the guy that was more experienced, and then he left. That opened up the other job, able to open up 2 other jobs, and it worked out. It's too bad because I like the industry, but a local water district that I work for is pretty corrupt and doesn't have good management. I mean, I'm gonna throw that out there, be the change. You know, get involved. If it's what you want to do, get involved, make yourself valuable, and trust the process. You know, if you think you can, I don't want to say it, just don't want to sound snarky with this, I don't mean it this way, but if you think you can help make things better, then get in there and make it better. And so there's enough of us that we see that things could be done better, but yet we don't go and be the ones to make it happen. We kind of complain about those that are doing it now. You know, who knows? You might, you never know. I can tell you now, I mean, I can know in almost every government-run system, organization, whatever, there's some amount of, I don't want to say corruption, that's kind of a hard word, but some amount of skirting some things, you know, here and there. And but that's where we as Christ followers, as people trying to do right, we want to come in and we want to be that change. We want to do the right thing. And so that's why I would encourage you in that way as well. And just our little reflection on that verse says, discipline and physical fitness matters, but it's even more crucial to cultivate spiritual discipline. The time and effort we invest in prayer, like I said, those repetitions in prayer and scripture and godly habits carry eternal benefits, not just temporary results. They not only carry eternal benefits, they carry benefits that work right now for us. So I definitely say that. Woo. All right. I mean, dude, I can say here, and again, don't know where you're at, again, but I've got this water system I work in. I've got another one that's within 20 minutes up the road from me as far as treatment wise. I've got another one that's about 15, 20 minutes that way that has 2 different water treatment plants. I have Charlotte down the road, which is about 30 minutes away, which has 3 water treatment plants, plus raw water plants. And then there's a whole bunch of other little systems around us too, in Statesville and a few other areas that are within less than an hour's drive. And so no doubt, I'm sure you're probably close to other systems as well that might be, if the one that you're in isn't a fit, then maybe one of those other ones is. And I have wrestled that battle before as well. I did 25 and then did 20 reps. Again, my place is just 2 minutes down the road from me, so I ain't going nowhere. That's hard to leave. But I considered it one time. But I did have an opportunity to go and be an assistant director in another city or town near me. They actually reached out to me because somebody had suggested me for it. I didn't because of my wife's situation, and plus because I think eventually I will be moved up where I'm at as it is. And if not, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine, trust me. But there's always, and the idea here is there's always other systems in need of water workers and utility management people and all that good stuff. And again, you know what it's like as far as security working in that industry. Oh goodness, my legs. All right, crunch time and plank time for our core work. I'm gonna get down here on the ground. Bring y'all down here with me. Oh Lordy. Dude, the legs, goodness. And I really haven't stretched my legs tonight either. And usually I do that while I'm working out. Oh, and my back. Goodness. Good and tight, that's for sure. I remember way back, I did karate for a little while. And we'd always stretch. And that time I was able to stretch past my heels. I can't even make it to my ankles. That's old age, man. That's crazy. Oh goodness. I'm gonna lay here a while now. Take me a nap. I can be one of those sleeping streams. I see that all the time. I'm like, why somebody will watch somebody sleep, man? You never know on Twitch, right? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Well, you don't hardly see me. All you see my head. 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. But bet that means my tracking might have went off. I bet so. Yep, she done quit tracking me. Why didn't you tell me, man? Come on. There we go. Now we got her. She'll stop tracking from time to time. How many years do you have in the water utility that you were with? And I assume that was with the state? As far as when you think about retirement and all that good stuff. What's up, Chill, bro? We doing good, man. I'm down here getting the old workout in, and she's up there decorating the house. It's springtime, so she's changing out all that stuff. Only 8 months. You mind if I ask how old you are, Shaq? That's all I could handle. I hear you there, man. 34. You're pretty young, man. And so, you know, I know we don't think, and maybe not at 34, I can't say, retirement and benefits and all that good stuff. That's one thing I can say working with the state or working with the city. You can't find, at least here in North Carolina, you can't find a better retirement system. And like I said, dude, I will get out probably about 58, 59 with 30 years. And That's full retirement, that's full benefits, that's full benefits. I'll have to pay for my wife, but we actually get what they call separation pay here as well. And so that'll help me with those paying for her insurance and all that too. And so we got it made, man, once we get retired. That's what I'm saying, if you can get in with the city or state, you know, that's definitely what I'd say. I was just taking a trip down memory lane. I was listening to Casey Kasem's Top 45 from 1980. You go right ahead, man. I ain't listening to 1980 stuff. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 12. They might even have been doing the crunches, being intentional, making sure I work those abs, you know, tighten those abs as I'm coming up, taking time to do so. So what was they playing, man? I was just starting junior high school. I hear you. Yeah, 80s just remind me of bad pop music. That's all I can think of with the 80s. I'm sure there were some songs that I could remember that I liked, but 80s music is just kind of weird as I look back at it now. A lot of it. Now my sister, since I had an older sister that was into the rock stuff and heavy stuff, we was doing the we was doing the Motley Crue and AC/DC and Rat and all of that kind of stuff, you know. So that stuff I still have a little heart for, the old pop 80s, so I don't know so much about the Casey Kasem thing, man. I remember getting up early in the morning waiting on the top 40 countdown, right? Yeah, Striper did make it big in the 80s, yeah. Honestly, right? Going on up to the spirit in the sky. Oh, yes, yes. I don't know, what was that 80? Well, honestly, when they really got big for a little bit, I don't remember right off. I think that was a little bit later, because I was probably 10, 11 years old. I bought Striper's last 3 albums and plan to buy it now. See, there ain't nothing new they've done that really strikes my fancy. I tried watching something they did recently. Yeah, that just ain't me. Like I say, and it's funny because like all the Christian metal Facebook pages and stuff like that, they have so many people that are huge Striper fans. I'm like, Striper's not metal, man. Striper's like hard rock, if you even call it hard. Oh, it definitely don't fit in the metal category. All right. Now I can say, love the song Blood From Above. I think the new stuff is much harder than the old stuff. I think they got better with age. I hear you. Disciple though. Disciple has a new song that just come out, so that means they're gonna have a new CD before long. I don't know if that's your fancy or not, but I like some Disciple. But of course, I like stuff even heavier than them now. But they got a new song. I haven't listened to it yet. I know they just come out with a new one. I got Demon Hunter playing right now in the old ears. Let's see. Trying to see where I'm at on here. So Hebrews 12:11. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. So, you know, it's one thing, White Cross, yeah, not really a big White Cross thing either. A couple of Disciple albums. Yeah, Disciple, dude, I've been a big fan of them for a long time. But they're still really not my favorite these days. I say probably I'm a much more Wolves at the Gate, Beard the Lion, and Phineas would probably be my top bands right now. As far as the metal scene goes. Oh goodness. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, I tell people that we talk about discipline and what it means, and it's like, you know, trying to diet and all that good stuff, and even trying to work out, all of that takes discipline, right? And there are those days where we just want to throw discipline to the wind. It's like, why can't I just eat and not have to think about it? It's kind of like with money too, and all that. You know, it's like with money, it's like you got to be disciplined with it. And I'm like, why can't I just spend what I want to spend and not have to worry about counting the pennies? And we all, no, don't pause. Man, quit. My workout's like, wait a minute, you done? I guess my heart rate drops. I've been down here talking. Theocracy albums and Wolves at the Gate. Yeah, Wolves at the Gate's like one of my favorites, man. Their last CD was awesome. I listened to it for like 2 years straight, just about. Oh, gotta get my timer going. Hold on. My first plank here. We're doing 30 seconds. I was about to count, even though I got a timer in front of me. That don't make sense, does it? But discipline, man, if you want things in life, you gotta be disciplined. In a lot of different ways. And discipline comes two different ways. It comes in what we do to ourselves, which is the whole trying to make sure we stay on the path and stay focused and do what's right and all that good stuff. And with our spiritual lives, we need to be disciplined and making sure that we get into the Word and prayer and all that, as we were talking about earlier. And discipline can also be God's correcting. And that's not always a negative thing. If he, you know, the scripture says that he corrects those whom he loves, or he disciplines those whom he loves. And if you think, again, as we talked about before, if you've been a parent and you got a kid and that kid's doing something you know is going to hurt them, and they don't listen to you when you say stop, then there's got to be some kind of discipline to help them out, to keep them safe. And the same thing God does with us is, you know, he may discipline us from time to time. He doesn't punish us. All the punishment Christ took for us. All of our punishment that we deserve, Christ was given that punishment. But he may discipline us. And there is a difference there. And discipline is correction. Punishment isn't always correction, is it? Sometimes punishment is just you did something wrong, you get what you deserve for it. Discipline is not what you deserve. Discipline is something to move you on to doing the right thing. Theocracy songs are Mirror Souls, I Am, and Laying the Demon to Rest. Yeah, not been a big Theocracy fan either. That's all kind of, to me, back in the old 80s kind of metal stuff. And in that kind of same vein anyway. And so like I say, man, my stuff is heavy. And so, you know, my screamo, all that good stuff, new metal as they might call it. I don't get so much into the death metal. I like to have some clean vocals. Got Old Sleeper on right now. It's one of my favorites as well. Alright, got 10 seconds. So even here you gotta have discipline to keep that back straight, right? Oh goodness. One more to go. And then we'll have her whipped. Be careful of that knee, man. My old bursitis or whatever, that knee's been firing back up. Like when I sit down on her, kneel down on her, I feel the pins and needles. So discipline is rarely easy or comfortable, yet it produces lasting growth, righteousness. A godly man accepts short-term discomfort for the sake of long-term character and spiritual maturity. That produces lasting growth and righteousness. And a godly man, which is what we've been talking about, being a biblical man, a biblical manhood, it is, how do we follow Christ closer? How do we follow God Christ closer? How do we live a more disciplined and holy and righteous life? And that's always not so much as trying to earn God's favor, but trying to represent Him well. And we do, you know, again, our righteous behavior is nothing compared to what Christ did for us. Christ paid the penalty that we deserve, and we get His righteousness when we place our faith in Him. But we try to live righteously to honor and glorify Him. And to do that, we got to discipline ourselves and be self-restrained. Do we want to try to go for a minute for this last one? Ah, man, y'all talked me into it. We're gonna go a minute. It's gonna be hard because 30 seconds is hard enough. We're gonna do it. We got 10s on. 10, I keep, you know how it is. You sit there and stare at the clock, and it seems like it takes it forever. My last little bit of, maybe I'm disciplining myself. Maybe both positive and negative here. I'm a glutton for punishment, y'all. We're halfway there just now. Oh goodness. I think we can make it. We can do it. One of my favorite secular bands, the Dream Theater and Theocracy, reminds me so much of them. I hear you. My favorite secular band for so long was Metallica. And so I lived and dreamt and ate basically anything Metallica put out for so long. Oh goodness. 2, 1, 0. All right, now I'm just gonna lay here and go to sleep. Oh goodness. Man, that was tough. That was the first time I did a minute on here. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Go away. Go away. We did our minute. Best gold is purified in the fire, and I just see myself being purified in the fire. Right. Getting hard to get myself up off the floor now. That's the only thing with laying down doing planks and stuff. Like, man, I just want to stay down there. Yeah, been purified by the fire, right? Update templates and values, remove 2 sets. I don't remember what I removed. I'm gonna update the values because I don't think I removed anything, but whatever. I always use my Strong app, which is free. I always got to put a plug in there for it. I don't get no kickback off. I don't have no links for it or anything. It's just my favorite app. But I've been using it for years now. And, can't recommend it high enough. It's free. You can set up to 3 templates in there. And you can change out those templates if you want to. You just can't have more than 3 unless you're going to pay for the app. They only have 1 ad that pops up from time to time, and that's trying to get you to do the pro or monthly bill, whatever. I did finally pay for the year, which is like 29 bucks. And so they have a $99 plan for the lifetime. I thought I'd see if I used it. I put in I've got 4 other templates now with the dumbbell work, so it works out pretty good. That God is just growing us and burning off the impurities and making us stronger. Right. And you know, again, we've been talking discipline, self-control, and all of that for you know, all of life really is about making the right choices and all that good stuff. I don't know why I got that one up. And why we make those choices and all that. And so discipline, self-control goes into that as well, because I gotta make sure that I'm doing what is right, making those choices, which if I'm trying to serve God, trying to do what He wants, then I'm going to try to make the choice I think would be best for, you know, for that purpose. I want to reread this statement that I started with tonight. So the man dedicated to God doesn't just go with the flow He trains himself in righteousness, stands firm against temptation, and willingly endures discomfort for the sake of growth and holiness. So again, discipline, self-control, not always the most comfortable thing to do, right? I mean, the comfortable thing to do would be sitting upstairs on the couch right now and watching TV, you know, right? Doing nothing. But the right thing to do, if we want to get better, stronger, all that stuff, is getting our workout in. Coming down here and getting a workout in. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so, I don't think I will be on tomorrow. You know, I keep saying that eventually I'm going to do an arm workout. Saturday's just hard for me to throw an extra workout in there, but we are. So we, as a church, and one of my church members is starting a new Alpha journey, or Alpha video journey. We've done Alpha a number of times. Alpha is a program for what we call the curious, the faith curious people. Basically, we come together, we do it in Zoom. We come together, we kind of have some chit chat beforehand, then we watch the video, and the videos actually have some discussion breaks in them now. We come back, we talk about it. We're not preaching, teaching. The video does all the teaching. We're just having open discussion together. And it's a good safe place to kind of evaluate the faith. And so we're gonna be starting that up on Tuesday nights on beginning March 18th. Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, I think. Now, if you're interested in it, make sure you check me out on Discord. I'll make sure you get all the details. And pop that in there real quick. So at least it went to Twitch anyway. YouTube is on it's in my, yes, it went to YouTube as well. I see that. Okay, good. I never know, man. Got to all the streaming tools, streamer bot, all that good stuff. I'm like, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, you know. But anyway, it's an awesome program. If you know somebody, if it's not you, if you know somebody that you'd like for them to see something that's Christian, but it be in a safe atmosphere, then I say send them our way, man. It's a great program to go through, and definitely a blessing for sure. And I always say, you know, give us 3 weeks. Give the program 3 weeks, see what they like about it. If they don't like it, then don't come back. We won't be calling them, beating them up, all that good stuff. Oh, goodness. So I appreciate everybody being on with me, man. It's been a cool night. I know, as always, I appreciate it because I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing here on Twitch. A lot of other things you could be watching. On Friday night, a lot of other things you could be doing as well. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. As always, I'm gonna get us ready to go raid one of my buddies as we get ready to get off of here tonight. And let's go pay him a little favor and say hey to him. You might be content you might want to see later on, or check him out sometime. Again, I appreciate y'all being on. I will be back on here Sunday for church service at 6 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll be doing our workout again on Monday night next week, doing our back workout on Mondays. And so at 6:30 Monday night. So I appreciate y'all being on with me. Let me say peace and love to you. Work on that discipline and self-control, right? And let's go see my buddy. He might become y'all's buddy.